The ups and downs of living with thoracic outlet syndrome. Hi, my name's Jim. If you haven't seen my videos before, I've had thoracic outlet syndrome for about 45 years now. And I've also had 3 lower back surgeries, including a 2-level fusion on levels L4-5 and L5-S1. That was about 7 years ago now. And let's see, I had TOS surgery on one side. I think that was 33 years ago now. I'll be 62 next month. And I had that surgery in 1991, I believe it was. So that surgery, they just took the scalene muscles out, I believe. I still have the top rib, but and my hand used to swell a lot and turn purple. It kind of helped with that, but I have more pain in my shoulder than I used to. So I've never had this side done because sometimes I just have better use of my left arm than this arm. So I've never wanted to have the other side done after that. But living with thoracic outlet syndrome, it's just like constant maintenance. Sometimes I feel like it's kind of like this, up and down, like what do they call that? A stock. If you're looking at a stock chart, they call that a sideways channel, where you get to about here, then you get a flare up, then you go back down here. When you get a flare up, you get a lot of pain, so you have to rest. You can't really do your exercises or anything like that. Sometimes it takes a few weeks or a month to calm down, sometimes more than a month. But you know, when you start back exercising, you can't just jump in. You have to slowly work your way back. So, you know, then you lose ground. You feel like you're just going like this, up and down, up and down. But if I don't exercise, it seems like I get stiffer. I mean, there's such a thin line between doing enough exercise that it helps you and doing too much that it flares you up. It's just a really fine line there. So things that I'll do that help me are like joint mobility exercises, which is like stretching, but you don't hold the stretch. You just go in and out of the range of motion a few times. And self-massage is good. A lot of times I just use my thumbs lately, but like fascia blaster tools like that work pretty good. Although I have a few of those. I haven't used them lately. Like I said, lately I've just kind of been using my thumbs. And when I do the self-massage, I just do a little bit at a time. Just go over a spot just a few times, because if I do too much, a lot of times that will cause a flare too. Also, my last video I did on a vacuum cupping set that I have, which is, you know, those cups you put on and you pump them up, and that'll help relax the muscles. If they're the outer muscles, like sometimes like this left shoulder, I did a video on that a while back. It's like I get pain in my left shoulder, and it's kind of under the arm up in there, and I can't really, the cups don't seem to really help that too much. I have to try to, you know, dig my thumbs in like in the armpit and stuff to try to loosen that up when it gets tight. Another thing I just did 3 or 4 months ago is I bought a yoga mat. I've had to move several times, and so the last place I lived was kind of an old house. There was no good, the floors were real uneven, so there was no good place to do floor exercises. And this place is so small, I mean, I could just squeeze a yoga mat in, but there's not really enough space on the floor to really move around and do much exercise. But even just laying on the hard floor, I haven't done this for a couple of years probably, but just laying on a hard floor is helpful, because like if you're laying in bed, the mattress curves like, you know, to fill in the space in your spine and stuff. But if you lay on a hard floor, then your spine and your rib cage have to kind of, you know, adapt to the hard floor. So just that was pretty hard for me to do after not doing it for a couple of years. And it's a little bit hard to get up and down off the floor, but I think it's getting a little bit easier for me. Another thing I used to do years ago was a thing called the Edgelow protocol, and you use a lot of foam rollers and different things for that. It was mostly lying on the floor and doing floor exercises for that, but like I said, I've had to move several times, and I ended up just throwing all that stuff away because I had no place to put it. The place I'm in now is so small, I had to get rid of a lot of stuff because there's just no room for it. So like I said, it's just like a constant struggle to stay functional. When I first got online like years ago and got a computer, I don't know how long ago that was, just say 25 years ago or so. It's getting hard to remember as I get older, but you would look online, if you looked up, search for thoracic outlet syndrome, you might get maybe just 3 or 4 things that would pop up, and I would get all excited about that. And now there's like tons of stuff, but now you have to like sort through it and you know, kind of find what works and what doesn't. So it's nice that there's more information out there. When I was young, before the internet, I had no clue what thoracic outlet syndrome was. I'd never heard of it. So I worked for like 10 or 12 years before I was ever diagnosed, just because, you know, I didn't know. Now I could probably type in my symptoms online and stuff about TOS would pop up. But you know, back in my time, there was nothing like that, so I had no information. So like I said, it's nice to see more information getting out there, but you just have to like pick through it and, you know, take what works. Everything's trial and error. You got to try what works and use that and toss out what doesn't. Unfortunately, I flared myself up many times trying new things because you really don't know until you try. And in the past, that would discourage me. I'd do something and it would flare me up and then I would just quit. But, you know, I stuck with it long enough. I've had this channel for like almost 11 years now, but I started experimenting with different exercises and things probably several years before that. And I started making, you know, progress. But, and I would start thinking, you know, maybe I should start a YouTube channel and talk about this stuff. And about that time I would get a flare up. Then I'd get really bad and I'd get all discouraged. And I'm like, never mind. And so that's just kind of how that all started out. But, you know, anyway, haven't made too many videos talking about this stuff lately, but, you know, kind of been back into it a little bit. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.